Stop doing the fucking thing. Oh my God, it's so harsh in my ears. You don't have to do that all the time.
It's got kind of a pleasant
It doesn't, and it's not.
audio signature to it on the waveform.
That'll be great for people who are viewing the podcast. Welcome back, citizens of De Niro Nation, to Our Hero De Niro, the only podcast that is watching and recapping Robert De Niro's entire filmography in random order. I'm Mike, and with me as always is my co-host Mike.
No relation, as ever.
And today we're talking about the 1971 crime thriller Born to Win, directed by Ivan Passer in his first American film, and starring George Segal, Karen Black, Paula Prentice, Hector Elizondo? How do you say that one? Jay Fletcher, and last but not least, Robert De Niro, the reason for the season. Mike, were you familiar with this film at all before we rolled it last week?
Certainly not.
No,
what about
me
you?
either. No, it's tough when you roll these early ones, early in De Niro's filmography, because you have a sense that he's probably not going to be featured much, and you just hope that the film happens to be good. We'll have a lot to say about that momentarily. Were you familiar at all with the films of Ivan Passer?
No, I wasn't. And just to comment on your, your allusion to the kind of interesting quality of these early films where De Niro isn't featured very heavily. Did you read this on Wikipedia? I read that he almost got fired a lot of times from the production because he kept trying to distract from the leads. Like he was trying to play a bigger role to kind of make a name for himself in the film. It's pretty funny to think about.
Yeah, he was trying to draw attention away from the leads. He was very much a secondary character, but I respect that. I respect the hustle.
He was great in the role.
Right.
Yep.
How else are you going to rise to the top? You need to capture people's attention somehow. I wasn't familiar with Ivan Passer's films either. Apparently, he is a Czech film director and screenwriter who is best known for his American films Cutter's Way and Stalin.
Certainly never heard of any of these three films before we watched this.
Didn't mean anything to me either. Apparently, Born to Win received mixed critical reviews, but critics did praise parts of it, including Segal's performance and the film's uniqueness. The late, great Roger Ebert said of the film, he called it a good, bad movie that doesn't always work, but has some really brilliant scenes.
Yeah, I read that review last night, actually, while I was thinking about this episode, and I was trying to think of what those brilliant scenes might have been that he was thinking of. But yeah, let's get right into it.
Yeah, here's the thing. Here's the thing about this recap that I'm obligated to do for the citizens of De Niro Nation. How did you watch this film?
Oh, yeah. It's actually kind of one of the main things I want to talk about. So I guess I'll just talk about it right now. So I watched this film on Pluto TV. Mike, have you ever used Pluto TV?
I have many times.
Okay, so I had never used Pluto TV before I watched this film last night. And when was the last time you used Pluto TV? How recently do you think?
Probably within the last 2 or 3 months.
Okay, so you know what I'm talking about then. So
maybe.
The ad breaks on Pluto TV are incredibly frequent. It's every 12 minutes, there's a 2 to 3 minute long ad break. And during every ad break, at least once, if not twice, I would see an ad for this iPhone cleaning tool. An app that helps erase extraneous files on your iPhone. And it was I looked so hard last night and this morning. I really wanted us to be able to link it in the show notes because just this ad was fucking killing me last night every time it showed up. It is just I don't even know how to describe it. It was just one of the most micro-targeted at tech-illiterate boomer ads I have ever seen play in any context. And it was just fascinating. I found the selection of ads that played on Pluto TV and the frequency with which they played really interesting. It was like a window in an entirely different reality. I guess the world is filled with boomers and generally cheap people who who prioritize not spending $4 on renting a movie to use a platform like Pluto TV. And for me, it's I only used it because I couldn't pay $4 to rent it. It's not on iTunes. Yeah, I don't know. Fascinating. Well, what about you? How did you watch this film, Mike?
Yeah, well, here's my pro tip. I only ever watch Pluto movies on my iPad because I have an iOS content blocker that, for whatever reason, it works with the ad breaks. So when there's an ad break, it usually just skips for a split second, but then continues on. So.
Oh, that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Well, next time you come over, I want you to see one of these ads because I think that just having the experience of watching one Pluto TV ad break will really make you laugh. I'm kind of sad you haven't had the experience because I was hoping it was something we could bond over. It was fucking otherworldly. I have never had an ad experience like this on any modern streaming platform. It was really interesting.
Well, this was the first film that I watched on Public Domain Movies. Pretty useful website. And the thing that I wanted to discuss here was just the actual presentation of the film. Like you said, this is not available on iTunes. I didn't even bother checking to see if it was available to rent on YouTube. It seemed like the quality was the same across all of the platforms on which it was available, which is to say, this is legitimately the most trying and difficult experience I've had watching a movie for this podcast. The actual video file that is available online, it's like, I'm not exaggerating, it is 320 by 240 resolution. It is the sort of video that people would watch on their pocket PCs 20 years ago. It was barely...
I don't think that the Pluto TV quality was that bad.
Oh, really?
The quality of the film is quite bad overall. Like I got the impression that maybe it was like a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy.
Yes,
like it seemed like it had degraded really significantly.
Too, yes.
But the resolution of my video file was definitely 1080p. Like it seemed like the quality issues were from the film itself, not from the encoding of the video.
I have doubts about that, but that's neither here nor there. The actual quality of the film was also bad, and I found the audio incredibly difficult to parse and understand. So
I had subtitles on in the first 5 minutes of the film. I was like, I will not be able to hear a single word of dialogue in this film.
Maybe I should have tried that method, because what I did was Public Domain Movies allows you to actually download the video file. So I downloaded the video file, which is how I knew it was actually 320 by 240. I opened it up in VLC on my PC. And VLC has this ability to just easily add subtitles. You can search within the app, add them, easy peasy. The problem is the subtitles that I found were out of sync with the film. So the subtitles would show up about 5 seconds after the line was spoken. So that made it even more confusing. So I gave up on that. And I think I understand the movie overall, but I don't know if that's going to come across through my recap of the film. So you might have to fill in some blanks here for me.
Yeah,
it's hard to tell some of these characters apart. I also, for what it's worth, think this is going to be a pretty light recap just in terms of the actual content of the film. It's one of those classics where not a lot is going on.
Well, I think there's only like 6 characters in this film, right? So there's the main guy, JJ, and then there's his girlfriend. And then there's the black dude whose name I can't remember. Is his name like Buddy or something?
Billy Dynamite.
Billy, not Buddy. And then there's the cops, Robert De Niro and his partner. And then there's the bad guy, and then the bad guy's henchman. So I guess there's 7 characters. So I think we should be able to keep it all straight.
Famous last words. But with that, Let's get into our recap of Born to Win.
I didn't take any notes on this film, just so you know. So it's a pretty funny one that you need me to fill in gaps for. But I was paying very close attention, and I understood it quite well.
I tried. I was paying close attention.
Yeah.
I really, now I know Pluto TV. That's where it's at. Plus, I'm going to get useful advertisements.
The ads. I really think we should make a commitment that the next time a film that we're going to watch for the podcast is available on Pluto TV, we should both watch it on Pluto, on the Apple TV, so we see the ads, so we can talk about the ads, because it really, like, you know, spoiler alert for Citizens of De Niro Nation, it was my favorite part of watching the movie, was seeing the ads. By which I mean, like, spoiler alert for my ultimate take on this film at the end of the podcast.
Yeah, for whatever reason, you seem absolutely unwilling or incapable of just waiting for the final. You know, like it can come across naturally over time. You don't have to always just spoil it within the first 10 minutes.
That was coming across naturally. What are you talking about?
I guess, if you say so.
That is what is natural.
Citizens weigh in. Email us at ourherodeniro@gmail.com while we talk about Born to Win.
You have a fucking stroke there?
You
Citizens weigh in, 8-second beat.
I knew that I would edit the gap out.
Cannot compute.
Okay, computer. So this film starts with a close-up of JJ, the main character of the film, talking, played by George Segal. This shit feels like a student film from 1971. He is just talking at the camera, and the camera, like while he's monologuing, it just occasionally just cuts. But the scene is the same, the angle's the same. It's just more of him talking. But he's basically explaining his background. He used to be a hairdresser. We'll learn pretty shortly that now he is a junkie. He's a heroin addict.
It's an interesting career change, honestly. Like,
yeah,
you know, being a hairdresser, it's work a day. I mean, it's not easy work, but it seems better than being a heroin junkie, honestly. I think I'd pick it.
Oh, really? The lesson that I learned was that it really speaks to how appealing it must be to be addicted to heroin. You know, it must feel so good.
Yep. Yeah, that's fair. Yep. Clearly, we took different things from this film. Yep.
Well, do you want to be a hairdresser?
I mean, no, I would be if I wanted to be, I guess. Like, I probably could have been, right? I could have gone to cosmetology school. And I do think I'd struggle with it because that kind of spatial reasoning is a little tough for me.
Yeah,
like, I was
hand-eye
never very good at
coordination.
sculpture.
Yeah.
Were you good at sculpture? Did you ever take a sculpture class?
I did take it, and I wasn't very good at it.
Yeah, like I took it and I wasn't very good at it. And from that experience, what I took away was I think I'd struggle to do hair. I struggle to visualize like what it's going to become.
Right.
Right. Anyway, I could have been one if I wanted to be, and I'm not. So no. But
Right.
I also don't want to be a heroin junkie.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I hear, using heroin, it feels like getting sucked off by an angel. So I'd make that trade.
You really heard that?
I think it might have been said in a TV show, maybe The Venture
Okay, yeah,
Brothers
I've
or
never heard
something. I
that.
think it's a
That's pretty
phrase
good.
that I've
Yep.
heard before.
That's a good
and-
phrase. I like that. Yep.
Right in the neck if you don't mind. Alright. Yes. Oh, it's like getting sucked off by an angel. Sweet angel with a tranquilizer.
Anyways, after this little weird introductory sequence to JJ, we follow JJ around at night, so we get some nice nighttime footage of New York City. He's just walking around. He's meeting up, he's saying hi to people on the street. He eventually meets his friend Billy Dynamite at a casino, and him and Billy leave the casino and they walk into some sort of business. I mean, feel free to fill in any details whenever you want, because God knows I did not capture many in my notes here.
You're doing a great job so far.
But they walk into some kind of business and they start doing a bit. JJ starts talking to the receptionist of this business that for some reason
It was a
is-
restaurant. Just so you
restaurant.
know.
Okay, that explains why
so
it was
I think
open
she
at
was the
night.
hostess. Like he was talking to
Gotcha.
like the hostess. Yeah.
Yeah, he starts talking to this hostess and is explaining that he's there to pick up the safe, that her boss actually, requested that he come by at this time to pick up the safe. Of course, the lady doesn't know anything about this because it's the most ridiculous fucking bit ever played on someone. But for some reason, she buys it. And JJ and Billy, they start leaving with the safe right when the boss happens to enter the room where this is occurring. So they run out. The safe is like on wheels. It's on like a little, what would you call that? Like a thing that...
Like a dolly.
A dolly. There you go. That's
Yeah.
the word for
Yeah.
it. And so they run outside and the safe kind of leaves them and runs into a stopped cop car. And so they have to abandon the safe and run away. So it's kind of like a misadventure. It's presented tonally. It's not like a very dramatic restaurant robbery, I guess you would say.
Yeah, I find the description of this film as a thriller pretty funny. I think it's more like kind of a goofy screwball comedy, isn't it?
I think
It's just the subject matter is really dark.
Right. I think tonally it wants to be a few different things and never really lands on a particular tone. But yes, I think it's much more a screwball comedy than a thriller. That's
Yeah. It's
a
interesting.
bold proclamation.
Yeah, I read on Wikipedia that the comedy beats were played up in the edit in post-production.
Oh, interesting.
That initially the script and footage were darker in tone and focused more. It's actually fascinating. Like this film, I don't know if you read the production section of the Wikipedia article, but it talked about how the director, whose name I've already forgotten, Ivan Passer, is that his name?
Yes.
He did a lot of research for this film. He did a lot of discussions and had focus groups with like actual addicts, and that actually some of the bit parts that are featured in the film are actual addicts whom he met in his research for the film. And so, yeah, I think like initially this was much darker in tone and scope. And then I think maybe the distributor, the studio, or like some production folks or somebody wanted it to be a little lighter. And so they played up the comedy.
It's weird though, right? It's weird to make a screwball comedy about a heroin addict.
Not funny at all.
It's not funny. It's not a funny subject.
Yeah, it's like it's pretty fucking grim, man. Like there's a lot of very dark stuff happens in this story.
I'm inclined to agree. So they make it on the subway and they part ways. Later at night, JJ, he's walking by these parked cars and he happens to find one that's unlocked. So he gets in and he tries looking for the keys to steal the car. A woman walks up to him and starts chatting him up, very friendly, asks him for a lift home, which I also thought was absolutely fucking crazy. I was like, is this guy an X-Man? Does he have some sort of mutant ability to seduce women or get them to believe that he's not like a total skis ball? But no, she was playing it up because it's actually her car. So she caught him in the act, but she allows him to drive her home, which... Sure, whatever. That's one thing. But then
It was a different time.
It was a different time. But then she invites him into her place. And I don't know about that. I don't know if that's like necessarily the kind of meet cute where you'd want to invite the guy into your home. Like he was just trying to commit Grand Theft Auto.
Well, I think there's something very wrong with her.
Yes. Yeah, she's definitely a bit of a free spirit. We get to know her more over the course of the film. But they're inside of her apartment.
Sorry, what's her character's name again?
That was Parm, right?
Parm.
Yes.
That's right. I remember thinking, like, what kind of name is that when I was reading the synopsis?
It's named after the cheese.
Well, is that a name, Parm? Is it just the name of a cheese, right?
No, I think it's actually short for Parmela.
It's my favorite name.
So they're hanging out, they're chatting, they're getting to know each other. And he tells her essentially that he's a deadbeat dad. So we know now that JJ, he was a hairdresser, he used to be married, he has kids, and he just abandoned that entire life to be a homeless heroin addict in 1970s New York, which I don't know how funny that is. I don't know if that's like screwball comedy material, but that's the hand we've been dealt in this film.
I'm laughing.
I mean, well, listen, I'm having a great time already. She says that she really likes him, which again, this is like one of those classic movie things where it's just like, it feels so forced. Why does she like him? I felt this to a lesser degree in, God, what was that other old De Niro film? The Gang That Couldn't Shoot Straight, where De Niro played the kleptomaniac Italian guy who seduced the lady, the college student. And it was like, what do you find appealing about this guy who keeps asking you for petty cash to take the subway or whatever? I feel it even more here. It's like this guy's admitting he's a deadbeat dad who's like casing your apartment to steal from it, but whatever, sure. He somehow seduces her and she notices a tattoo on his arm that says Born to Win, just like the movie title.
Do you think that he got the tattoo after the movie?
Oh yeah, you think like the movie was coming out, it's great promotional.
Like he's just like such a big fan.
Right,
like, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many letters do you think we've gotten by this point of people telling us whether they think I'm funny? When's this episode coming out? November 18th?
Well, November 25th, actually. This is basically our Thanksgiving episode.
Oh, I'm offset. Yeah. Oh, wow. This is our Thanksgiving episode.
Yeah. Happy Thanksgiving or Indigenous Peoples Day, or do they call it anything else nowadays?
Is it Indigenous Peoples Day? I thought that was Columbus Day.
Oh, God damn it. What is Thanksgiving called now? No, there isn't one universally accepted new name for Thanksgiving, but suggested alternatives include Indigenous Peoples Day or Indigenous Foods Day.
I thought that Columbus Day was Indigenous Peoples Day.
Columbus.
New name, Columbus Day. Indigenous Peoples Day. Yeah. You can have two fucking holidays with the same name. That's stupid. And for what it's worth, the Wikipedia article for Indigenous Peoples Day is about
Columbus Day.
Columbus Day. So I think that if it's got the Wikipedia article, that means that's the real thing.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Well, because it's seasonally appropriate, I'll ask you, how do you feel about Thanksgiving as a holiday?
I hate Thanksgiving. It's my least favorite holiday. Yeah.
I did remember that. I just wanted to know for the record. Yeah. What don't you like about it?
I don't like the food. I think turkey is a low tier meat, C- to D tier. It's just bad chicken that makes you feel sleepy. And, I don't really like butter. And I feel like all the Thanksgiving food is buttery. And, I feel like it's a holiday that's all about eating a bunch of food, and I don't like any of the food. So, I just always kind of resented it when I was a kid.
I completely agree with you. I don't care for Thanksgiving. I think it's such a boring holiday. It's a holiday that's centered around gluttony, and my appetite is just my appetite. Like, I'm going to eat as much as I can eat. That doesn't change just because there's a fucking platter in front of me. And I agree. I think turkey is a weak meat. The fact that it needs to be dressed up with gravy speaks to how inferior it is on its own. Give me a juicy chicken or a delicious
I was just about to say,
glazed
dude, you
ham
cook a
or
full
something.
chicken. You don't need to put anything on that. You slice off a little slice of the breast when you make like a fresh whole chicken. That's good, just like it comes. You don't need any fucking gravy on that. That's how you know it's a good meat. Right. Or like a steak. Like people use steak sauce, but like you honestly you shouldn't.
Oh, I agree.
Right. You just take a slice off of the steak and eat it just the way it is. Taste the blood. That's how you know it's good meat.
I completely agree. Yep. Dry ass meat. I don't mind the rest of the Thanksgiving food, but I don't think it's special enough to only be eaten once a year in this gigantic meal. And the fact that the rest of Thanksgiving is about watching football. Football's fine. That's all we've got for this holiday. That's like all we could come up with over the last 200 years.
And when I was a kid, we would go to my grandma's house for Thanksgiving. We went to my grandma's house like twice a month. you know? So I think it was fine.
Exactly.
Because that's ostensibly the other thing about it that's special, right? Is that you spend the day with your family, but it was like, I don't know, I saw my family all the time. So it's fine.
Yeah, it was kind of the opposite for me. My relatives are all downstate, so we didn't really see them on Thanksgiving. We would usually pick like one big holiday to go visit them. So it was just like, okay, I'm here with my family again, and I'm just eating different meat. It's really exciting.
Give me a chicken wing.
Oh my God. Yeah, sure. Sounds great. So back to our Thanksgiving movie, Born to Win. The next morning, some guy, I don't know who the hell this was. I'm telling you, man, it was so hard visually to understand what was happening because the resolution was so low, and the film transfer itself, the quality was so low.
Yeah, you should have watched it on Pluto TV. The resolution was totally fine.
And apparently there were subtitles, so I was really missing out. I thought I was doing a good thing by visiting public domain movies. In this conversation, someone comes up to JJ and starts talking to him while he's on a park bench, and we learn that he's a dope addict. And
this is Vivian, just so you know.
Gotcha. So this guy's
this
Vivian.
is like Stanley's the main bad guy. He's like Stanley's gopher, I think. It seems like he seemed like he was just like kind of doing Stanley's bidding.
Yeah, because Vivian offers JJ some sort of courier job or like smuggling job, but JJ doesn't want to do it. JJ later on visits some guy at his apartment, and he wants to get Parm a gift or something. So I guess that's his motivation for eventually taking on this job. So he goes to a bar, and this is a classic, like dingy, red light, basement looking, early 70s bar, the kind of place that just doesn't exist anymore. And he talks to this lady, Vivian, right?
No, Vivian is the guy. Vivian is Hector Elizondo.
Okay, so the
lady he talks to at the bar is Veronica.
Veronica, yes. V-name. There we go. Yeah. This is where I wrote in my notes, God damn, the audio is so fuzzy. I tried downloading subtitles, but they're out of sync. So
I think it was public domain for a reason, man. I think it's like a really bad copy of the film.
Listen, I should have just closed the tab and watched Steamboat Willie or some other public domain bullshit instead. Saved myself.
That's a 5-star film.
Is it really? I don't know if I've ever actually watched it.
Oh, yeah. We watched it. It was one of my 165 films I watched last year. I watched a lot of short ones. Don't you remember making fun of me?
Yes, actually.
That was one of the short ones that I watched to pad my number.
I got to juice these numbers. All the people on Letterboxd are going to make fun of me if I've seen fewer than 150 films this year. They're going to kick my ass the next time I go outside. all of the effete film nerds on Letterboxd who are jerking off to the latest Paul Thomas Anderson film or whatever.
The latest Paul Thomas Anderson film was really good.
I liked it. I liked it a lot.
Yep.
But JJ and I did you ever hear Billy's name spoken in the film?
Well, yeah, I must have, right? Because I thought it was Buddy, which means that I must have seen it written on the screen and like only clocked the first letter B, last letter Y, and then it had a repeated consonant in it.
Gotcha.
Like that's how I made that mistake. So it must have been said. I must have seen the subtitles at some point.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah. Do you ever watch films with subtitles otherwise? Like, do you normally use subtitles?
No, like if I have to. Yeah. Like it didn't bother me that I had to turn them on. If I'm watching a film and I get 5 or 10 minutes in and I'm having trouble understanding what people are saying, I'll just turn the subtitles on. I'm not going to have a bad experience. I'd prefer not to because I feel like it does distract you from really engaging with the visuals of the film. But I feel like it's more important to understand what's happening in the plot. So like I'll make the sacrifice if I'm having trouble hearing the dialogue. What about you?
Yeah, I almost never use subtitles for English language films because, again, I think it does distract a bit. And I find myself looking at the bottom third of the screen and I read faster than the dialogue is spoken. So I'm kind of getting ahead of the film.
Before the rhythm of the scene. Yep, I agree. It's not a good way to engage.
I think it's so weird that it's become this culturally normalized thing. Everyone just watches film and TV shows with subtitles on.
Yeah, I mean, I think that we truly are at an all-time low in terms of like cultural media, literary, film literacy. Like it's really, really bad.
Because here's the thing. People will say that it's due to poor audio mixing. Oh, you need to have a home theater to be able to understand the dialogue in any of these films these days. I don't agree with that. I don't believe it for a fucking second. And I don't believe that the people who are watching movies on Netflix on their 43-inch Vizio TV with no soundbar actually have a difficult time hearing the dialogue. I think it's an attention span thing. I think it is how come I can't follow this movie while I also have my phone up and I'm like DMing people on Instagram or whatever. I think it is entirely due to that.
Yeah, it's tough to say. I mean, in general, I agree, right? I think second screening is bad, and I don't do it unless it's something that I really, really don't care about. And I'm probably not going to watch it, honestly, unless if it's something that I really, really don't care about. But I do think that the quality of television sets, audio, has gotten really bad. And I think that you and me have good external audio setups, so we're kind of inert a little bit from that experience. But like, you know, there's a lot of different ways, right? Like if you think about it, like consumer electronics have gotten really cheap. And obviously like globalization and lower input costs have been a big part of what's driven down the average price for those kinds of things. But they've also become much lower quality. And I think a big area where manufacturers have really cut costs has been in audio. So I don't know, like, you know, why don't you guys write in to ourherodinero@gmail.com and let us know, like, what's your AV setup like? Do you have external speakers? Do you use a good sound bar, a shitty sound bar? Do you use the actual onboard audio for your TV? And do you watch films with subtitles? You know?
Yeah, I am.
And if you do you second screen? Like, could it be an attention span thing, or is it really an issue hearing the audio?
Just know that you might get roasted by us if you do.
You can tell us if you want the letter to be anonymous.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. We'd respect the anonymity just to hear the feedback on the podcast. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yep.
I wonder if people would be able to tell which of our 3 letter writers it comes from. Is this a Chase letter, an Andrew letter, or a Philip letter?
Yeah. Hey, Caroline writes sometimes.
Caroline, come on, we miss you. ourherodinero@gmail.com. So JJ and Billy, they show up to, I don't know, some lady's place. Who is this lady? She invites JJ in.
Marlene.
So Marlene. Okay.
Marlene is Stanley's wife.
Gotcha. She's familiar with JJ. So she lets JJ in. And when the door is open, Billy kind of sneaks in, you know, before it can be closed. So the 3 of them are in there together. JJ.
I think that you missed something. I'm sorry. What? Did you describe him doing the courier job?
No. Did he do it?
Yeah, we don't need to do it to death or anything, but the courier job happens before the scene, and that's really important because what the job was delivering a package to Stanley and Marlene's house, and now he's here to steal it back. So he like knows that this package is there because he's the one who delivered it on the courier job.
I don't know how I missed it. I was taking notes the entire time. I did not second screen during this.
This is one of my classic 0-no recaps right here.
Oh, God. Well, anyways, so they're at Stanley's wife's house. And they want to pick up the package that JJ dropped off there yesterday. She tries playing it off like, you know, like she's trying to have it not happen or whatever until Billy points a pistol in her face. So they leave and they're in the apartment building leaving. And from a distance, 2 cops yell at them. So they book it and the cops follow. There's a foot chase. The cops chase them down to a laundromat, but the guys are gone. JJ and Billy are gone. And it's so funny because we see this detective just kind of walking around in the laundromat. And I wrote, I don't know, open the fucking washing machines. Like, where do you think they went in this windowless basement apartment complex laundromat? But to his credit, the detective eventually does start doing that. I think he puts a coin in one of the washers that JJ's hiding in and just lets it roll around for a bit, tumbles until JJ comes out. Finally, mercifully, at 31 minutes and 32 seconds, we get our first De Niro face reveal. He plays Officer Danny, one of the 2 cops in this film. So that he's like a plainclothes officer. He's got his long early 70s mop top like he had in The Gang That Couldn't Shoot Straight, which is also from the same year. And I have to say, you know, I guess we may as well talk about his performance here because there's not a ton to it. He's only in a few minutes of the film, but what did you think of him here?
I thought he was really good. I thought he was funny and kind of charming and a little smarmy in that way that this character should be. And I liked him. Yeah, it was my favorite part of the film, by far.
I agree. I think he had a very nice presence with the limited amount of screen time that he had. And he adds just a little something to what is otherwise not a very particularly interesting series of events.
Yeah, it's a real dour experience.
At least the way they portray it. Yeah, I'm going to have a lot to say about this film's tone at the end. But Officer Danny lost Billy, but he got the package, and the detective starts frisking JJ. Apparently, JJ worked or functioned as a narc in the past, and Officer Danny knows him through that. So they drag him away when a lady enters the laundromat with her laundry and they tell her like, come back another time. And she basically tells them, hell no. So they drag JJ away. JJ starts.
I think they knew him from him having been involved in something bad before, like not as an informant, but I think that he was alleged to have been involved with some sort of violent crime, I think was the sense that I got. But he claims that was a setup. Like some other informant lied about his involvement in the other crime. So I think we're supposed to wonder like, oh, maybe JJ is actually like kind of a really bad guy, like not just like a layabout loser. I think it's supposed to be kind of unclear to us as viewers.
So my interpretation was that Officer Danny, Robert De Niro, knew JJ because JJ previously functioned as a narc, which might have been because he was caught up in whatever crime in the past. I mean, because the point is that the detective and Officer Danny they tell JJ that JJ is going to be their new informant. Apparently the detectives, the cops want to find this guy called the Geek.
I think Vivian is the geek. Just
okay.
So, you know.
So Vivian's the geek. It's all
they're the same person
coming together.
Yeah.
Later on, JJ is in a men's changing room, and my God, we see some incredible back hair. We're talking like Wolverine levels. Jesus Christ. The early 70s was a different time. No one was manscaping.
Do you have any back hair?
No.
I really don't either, I don't think. I mean, I never look at my back, obviously, but I'm pretty hairy. Like
Let's get the mirrors out.
And legs are pretty hairy, but I don't think there's any hair on my back.
That's nice. Hey, good for you, man. Yeah, let's get rid of all of our body hair. Let's manscape before next week's episode. Come back nice and aerodynamic. We'll podcast even faster. But he meets someone in the sauna, some criminal guy. I think it's the guy that his boss wants to kill JJ or something. What was the deal here? Who was this fucking guy?
I think it's Vivian, man.
Vivian, okay.
Yeah.
The point is that, so Vivian tells JJ that he wants...
hang on.
Yeah.
Here's what's happening. Mm-hmm. So Stanley knows that JJ stole the package. He came home, Marlene, his wife, told him.
Yes.
And so now Stanley wants JJ to be killed. But Vivian, the geek, on whom JJ is informing to the police, but Vivian doesn't know that, he's like lower level, and he's JJ's main contact with Stanley. And so in this scene, he's like, oh yeah, Stanley wants to have you killed, but I'm going to try to help you out, essentially.
Right.
But like the reason why he wants to have him killed is because he knows he robbed him. He knows he stole the package.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. I love it. So basically, he tells JJ, I'm going to need you to help me out by doing a smuggling job. I want you to drive
for
to
$800.
800 big ones.
It's a lot of fucking money in 1971, dude. There's like $5,000.
Yeah, I did the conversion and it was like around $6,000. So sure, that's a lot of smack, a lot of dope. So he needs JJ to drive to JFK tomorrow morning wearing a red tie and take a flight to Paris. And I guess he'll get paid $800 and some heroin for his trouble. JJ later on talks to Parm. Yeah,
probably.
Okay. Yep. So later on, JJ is talking to Parm about this. He says he's going to get clean. He says, he's going to take the flight to Paris. He says it's the environment that kills you. And he wants to do heroin. Even though he just said he wants to get clean, he wants to do heroin right then and there. She doesn't want him to, but he says that he's boring when he's straight. The next morning, he leaves out the door. He kind of like wakes up and tries to get out without her noticing. But she gets up and follows him out before he can get into the car. And she says that she's going to join him on the job, which I don't know how much they communicated about the severity of this situation. He does try telling her that, she could go down for some serious jail time. It's pretty fucking risky. There are a few things in life more risky than being a smuggler, an international smuggler.
She gets him to acquiesce to her demand to join him by saying that she'll run around town screaming. It's like, listen, they're not that serious yet. Like, it's like they've hung out like twice. Even if I really liked a lady, like if we'd hung out like twice and she said that to me, I'd be like, all right, good luck, dude. I'm going to drive away now. You go scream around town all you want. It's only going to negatively reflect on you. I won't be with you. Like, I don't understand why this threat matters to him. It's like he's not going to be there while she's screaming.
You know why? Besides the sex, you know why? Because I'm pretty sure he's taking her car.
Oh, is that what it is? So maybe she's going to scream like that he took her car. I didn't put that together. That makes a little more sense. That happened and I was like, who cares? I'd be like, yeah, have fun, bitch. Go ahead and scream. I'm out of here.
Right. If he said no, she could just be like, okay, I'll take my car keys then. I'm going to go to I'm going to go
That's fair.
uptown or something.
I didn't put that together. Yeah.
Have fun walking to JFK, prick.
Have fun walking to Paris.
Yeah, walking to Well, hopefully he'll have manscaped his body, and that way he'll be more aerodynamic when he swims across the ocean.
No, he's just gonna he's gonna be like a surfboard. He's just gonna float all the way there at breakneck speed.
So JJ arrives at JFK with Parm in the passenger seat. I zoned out for a moment here, I won't lie, but they end up driving in a parking garage, and Stanley's men start pursuing them. So there's a bit of a chase, and they drive up to the top of the parking garage, which I don't think is really what you want to do when you're being chased, but whatever. He gets out of the car, they corner him at the top of the parking garage, and we cut to him getting jammed up by these mobsters. The head mob guy is interrogating him and make him call someone. I'm not entirely sure who, but this ends with them making JJ strip. So they kidnap him, right? They take him to a second location, they lock him in some bedroom.
And they take him to Stanley's house.
Right, they're in Stanley's place. Okay,
it's Stanley's house, yeah.
Well, apartment,
because he's
right?
putting on Marlene's clothes.
Yes, he's locked. He's locked in their bedroom. Yep. So it's an interesting gambit, he's locked in the bedroom by himself. So he puts on Marlene's robe or something and starts flashing these people across the street who can see him.
Pretty good idea, actually.
Yeah. So he starts.
I remember
flashing.
thinking this is savvy. This is a really good way to handle the situation. Get some people to call the cops on some fucking freak in the apartment.
Very, very early 70s kind of crime, just random flashing or whatever. So, yeah. So sure enough, the police knock on the front door to the apartment. And again, this is another situation that if I just described it, I think would sound very tense and dramatic, but it's not. It's played for laughs. It's played as a comedy beat. You hear the camera stays with JJ, and you hear police knocking on the door to the apartment and a gunfight ensuing. And JJ somehow manages to circumvent all of this and escape somehow. This is where I noted the soundtrack. Do you have any thoughts about the soundtrack at all? I'll forgive you if you don't.
Yeah, I can't say that I honestly noticed the music at all, except for there was this one moment that I did notice it, where there was a song that was playing. I think it actually may have been this part, now that you say it, that was kind of a little funky. Right?
Yeah.
It was this. So it was kind of a little funky. And I noticed the music because the subtitles had in brackets describing the sound dramatic music.
Oh, that's some bullshit.
And I was like, man, whoever wrote these subtitles was not listening to the music, because this is the least dramatic song I've ever heard in my life. But otherwise, I actually honestly didn't even notice it at all.
I noticed it because it felt out of place, and it wasn't bad or anything, but yeah, it was all just funky, stereotypical early 70s music. And It obviously doesn't fit for the film being a crime thriller, but I also didn't think it really worked for the film being a screwball comedy. It wasn't really peppy, energetic screwball comedy kind of music. It was just, you would play that in a YouTube, just 70s funk music to study and do homework to or whatever. It's that kind of music. It was pretty generic, but it didn't really work for me.
I think that a lot of the issue is, and you could be forgiven for missing this just because the quality on your rip was so low. But I think a big part of the issue is that this film just isn't good, and that the creative folks didn't do a very good job. So I think that's a big part of it.
So JJ's back with Vivian, and he's really sad. He's coming down hard on himself because he's such a loser, and rightfully so.
He is a huge fucking loser.
He's right to feel that way. It's an appropriate reaction to his life.
Dishonest and violent. And I understand, drug addiction makes you do terrible things, but I don't know, he doesn't do a single good thing for the entire film, basically.
So they go for a drive. They want to go far away, and they end up on a beach, and they have this sort of blissful moment of romance. They tell each other that they don't really know why they like each other, but they do. They're drawn to each other. They hang out on the beach. Everything seems to be going well at this moment, but JJ says that he's going to go back to get his money. And Vivian, I think, very reasonably interrogates this a little bit and asks him, what do you really want? And I did not know what his response was. I think it wasn't very good, though. And do you remember what it was?
I think he says something like he wants to get clean and be with her or something like that.
I mean, he didn't have to go back to the city and re-engage in this situation with the mobsters, if that was the case.
Well, no, he needs the money. He's doing the job to get the money because he needs the money so they can get out of New York because he thinks the environment is what's making him a drug addict.
Okay.
He's wrong. It's a lie he's telling himself. But like, I think it all makes sense. Like, that's the story he's telling himself about why he's doing what he's doing. He needs the money so they can, I think they talk about wanting to go to the Caribbean or something. Like they want to like use the money to get like a flight somewhere.
Gotcha. That's right. Yep. Yeah. How much they talk about how much a one-way ticket is or whatever. I think we briefly see him go through withdrawals. They drive back.
Did you notice, by the way,
what?
That it was like about the same amount of money that it is now?
Oh,
Made me think about our discussion that we had during the Midnight Run
Midnight
episode.
Run? That was a classic
I think
episode.
They say that the one-way ticket's like $385. That's how much a one-way ticket to the Caribbean costs now.
God.
That was 55 years ago.
Damn. Got to record an episode from the Caribbean. So
inflation. It's crazy stuff. Yep.
So they drive back at sunset, and Parm drops JJ off at night. He walks into some sort of hot dog joint and down the stairs in the back. Very shady stuff. I definitely started losing the plot at this point, thin as it was. But him and Billy hold another guy up. Stick another guy up. What's the right terminology there? They mug another guy.
They use some weird expression, like a takeoff or something, or like whenever they're going to rob somebody, say this is like a takeoff or like a give off or something. Did you notice that?
This is a jerk off. This is
like, it was like an expression I'd never heard. It has to be anachronistic in some way, like just some expression that we don't use anymore. But like, it threw me off. He says that to Marlene when he first robs her, and I'm like, but what's a takeoff? What does that mean? And then through context clues, I was like, oh, they're robbing her. Like, I get it.
When the gun comes out, it's pretty obvious.
Yeah, that's
the next day, JJ's in the cop car and Officer Danny is back. What a sight for sore eyes it was to see De Niro.
I know. I was relieved to have him come back, honestly. It was really funny. Caroline was sitting with me while we watched this. I tagged her on Letterboxd, but she didn't really watch with me. She probably looked at about 4 minutes of the film. And she missed the entire first section with De Niro. And I was like, are you really paying that?
That's
like
sad.
10 minutes afterwards, she asked me, when's Robert De Niro going to be in this film? And I'm like, man, what are you talking about? You missed it. He was on screen for like 10 minutes.
How have you not become attuned to the look of his face or the sound of his voice? Right.
Like, great. They didn't zone you in.
Get it together. Yep. So the cops, Officer Danny and the detective, threaten to send JJ to prison if he doesn't produce what they want, which is nailing Vivian. What happens is basically this is the preamble to a bust. So they have a meeting set up between Officer Danny and Vivian with JJ functioning as the mutual contact, like the intermediary. So they all sit down, the three of them. They have a conversation, and Officer Danny is trying to convince Vivian to sell him drugs. And it's not going well for him. And he's saying, he's like, listen, I'm cool. I'm cool as a cucumber. I know JJ, and JJ looks so fucking distracted, like he is in another world. He is not functioning as he needs to in order to escape prison, hard time. So the deal inevitably fails, and JJ just gets up and walks away. We reconvene with him on a park bench, and Billy meets him over there. They have a nice friendly conversation, and Billy tells JJ that he wouldn't give this life up for anything. And I wrote here in my notes, both of these characters probably died 3 months later. They go into a bathroom to shoot up, and Billy shoots up in one of the stalls with this heroin that was originally given to JJ, and he has a heart attack right then and there, passes out, and dies in an elevator. JJ runs away. He has to abandon him and returns to Parm. He says that they're leaving right now. They get in the car, they start driving away, but they're immediately pulled over by the detective and Officer Danny, who jam them up. And they basically say, hey, JJ, we're not going to arrest you. We're not going to put you in prison. But they plant drugs on Parm and they take her away.
Take him away, boys.
Hey, I'm the chief here. Break him away, toys.
What'd you say, Chief?
Do what the kid says.
You have anything to say about that?
I do want to say that, you didn't mention something earlier that I think is important. Billy's death is foreshadowed, right? Because earlier in the film, when Vivian meets JJ in the sauna and says Stanley wants to have him killed, the way he says that Stanley wants to have him killed is by giving him this thing I'd never heard of before watching this film. It's called a hot shot.
Yes.
And so a hot shot is like, I don't know, because I don't really know anything about heroin, honestly. I guess we could have looked this up before we did this recap. But it's explained in the film that it's like, when a drug dealer as an act of malice, right, trying to do violence to someone to whom they're selling, basically gives them something like battery acid or rat poison or something that you would not want in your bloodstream in the place of an injectable drug, and then you die when you take it. And so we're not supposed to have been surprised that Billy died, and I think we're also supposed to think like this is another example of JJ just being like a real shit fucker. Like he wasn't doing a very good job of looking out for his friend. Right, Billy doesn't seem like a bad guy. He seems like, he's like a junkie, but like I don't know. He's JJ's like only friend. He should have been looking out for his friend. He seemed like a fine friend among junkies, honestly.
I mean, JJ doesn't strike me as an overly thoughtful person. I bet Billy was just like, hey, have any drugs? And JJ was like, oh yeah, I have some in my pocket. I just got this. Go crazy. It's nighttime again. And it's interesting. It's a nice callback to the beginning of the film, that intro scene where we follow JJ around at night. This time he's walking by people and he's kind of ignored by everyone. He walks back into the dingy bar from earlier in the film, and Vivian gives him some heroin on the house. And there's some ambiguity about, whether or not it's a hot shot, another hot shot. Yep. And the last shot of the film, we see JJ walking down the street, and the movie just ends ambiguously. That's Born to Win.
You did a really nice job with the recap.
I appreciate that, because I was really struggling during the film. I was having a pretty tough time. But Mike, let's move over into our final ratings. Tell me what you thought about Born to Win.
I didn't think it was very good. It's tough to know where to situate it, right? But I think the big issue with it is just that tonally it makes no sense. Like, you can really tell that they tried to force this goofy screwball air to it because it has that vibe, right? The way the scenes are edited together has comedic dimension to it. The music, to your point, is very jaunty. Like, it's not like the music that you would expect in a serious drama depicting something as grim as this. Like, Caroline asked me, as the film ended, like, oh, is this just like Requiem from a Dream from the 70s? And like, that's is it Requiem for a Dream? For a Dream. My apologies. I've never seen the film, actually. But like, that's the same subject matter, right? That yes. This film is about. And it's bizarre. It like doesn't work at all. I think the performances are good. George Segal is quite good. I can't think of anything else I'd ever seen him in before this. I don't know if you'd seen him in anything before this. I also really liked Karen Black. I thought she was like really sexy and like really weird and kind of like a little off in a way that I think you would expect this person to be. So her performance worked really, really well for me. Mm-hmm. But overall, like, no, not a very good movie. It certainly didn't make me laugh at all. I struggled a little bit with what to give it, but I think I am going to land on 1.5 stars because I don't think it's any better or worse than The Gang That Couldn't Shoot Straight. Yes, The Gang That Couldn't Shoot Straight. That was what I was comparing it to in my mind. Yep. So I'm going with 1.5. What about you, Mike?
Tough but fair. Yeah. This movie, I wanted to like it more than I did because it is an example of gritty New York films. I've said before on the record on this podcast that I like that sort of movie, but it really didn't work for me. And I think the tone is the reason why. It's a very meandering film. It feels kind of shapeless. It never lands on a clear tone. Is it a thriller? Is it a drama? Is it a character study? Is it a screwball comedy for some reason? It tries to blend comedy and tragedy, but I really don't think it succeeded at either. It also just lacks narrative momentum. There's an aimlessness to it that I really didn't like. And I didn't think that it achieved this sense of gritty realism. Instead, it just felt kind of dull and repetitive. Like, yeah, the performances are good. I have nothing bad to say about George Segal or Karen Black or anyone else in the cast, but I really didn't care for the character of JJ. I felt like I didn't really develop a good understanding of him, his motivations, his desires, and he's so passive. I've had this complaint about a few films in the podcast where the protagonist just feels passive, like everything is being done to them. And this is a classic case of that, where it's just, I'm just watching a guy with seemingly no agency in his life get pushed around for 90 minutes and then it just sort of ends. So I don't know. I think that ambiguously. Yeah. So I think the script kind of failed to develop these character arcs or establish any sort of meaningful stakes. And JJ's descent didn't really feel tragic so much as just inevitable and unmoving. So yeah, I think it just overall didn't quite work for me. I like the premise, but I think the execution really falls flat. I also thought long and hard about how I wanted to rate this one, and ultimately I made that same comparison in my mind. I didn't think it was any better than The Gang That Couldn't Shoot Straight, and so I ultimately am also giving this one 1.5 out of 5.
Tough but fair.
Yeah, worst film we've seen. Well, actually, not that recently. The Comedian was also 1.5. It takes all.
Yeah,
kinds.
but The Comedian was so much better than this.
Yeah.
So like it almost makes you want to revise The Comedian up to 2 stars. To be honest, it kind of makes me want to revise Stone up to 2 stars too. Like, is this really not worse than The Comedian or Stone? I'm really not sure. But, the scores are the scores, right?
Yeah, the scores are the scores. Yeah. On that note, Mike, is there any film you'd like to recommend instead of Born to Win?
Do I ever? And this is one of those times when I wonder if you and me are going to make the same recommendation.
I'm also wondering that with this.
It was never in doubt for me what I was going to recommend. So I do think it's quite likely that we're going to recommend the same thing. And so I'll say my piece, I guess, if that's the case, and then you can say yours. And it'll be a lot of fun. So I would like to recommend full-throatedly instead of, not in addition to, this film, the 2019 Safdie brothers film Uncut Gems, which I think it's doing what this film is trying to do, and where this film fails in almost every way. Uncut Gems is an almost unparalleled masterpiece of this kind of storytelling. So if somehow you're not familiar, Uncut Gems is this incredible star vehicle for Adam Sandler 5 or 6 years ago. We don't get dramatic Adam Sandler performances very much. He's only been in maybe probably 5 or 6 of these kinds of really meaty dramatic roles in his career. And he is an incredibly talented actor. It's kind of amazing. He's great in every dramatic role I've ever seen him in. But this is his best performance. This is his best performance of his career by far. And I'll tell why I'm making this as my recommendation, and then I will talk a little bit about what Uncut Gems is about. So the reason why I'm making this recommendation is because Uncut Gems is a comedy thriller. It's like a black comedy. That's the kind of film that it is. And it's about addiction and the ways that it erodes folks' moral character and agency in their lives and just will to be the way that you would hope that someone would be. But it achieves, I think, this high wire tonal balance that this film is trying to do very well. And I think that a big part of that is just the artfulness of the Safdie brothers as creative folks, and also probably the fact that they had a tone in mind through the entire production process rather than just in post-production, when apparently Ivan Passer realized he wanted this to be a goofy screwball comedy. So it's doing a lot of the same things thematically that this film was trying to do, and it's doing them well in a way that this film certainly doesn't. So Uncut Gems depicts this guy, a guy by the name of Howard Ratner, named Howie, and he is a gem dealer in the Diamond District of New York who is a serious gambling addict. And we just see over the course of... It's something that I really love in films, by the way. I think this film is probably just about the same way. It takes place over a very short period of time, right? Like maybe 3 or 4 days. I think the whole film takes place over. And it's just... you're seeing his life fall apart over the course of a few days. He's having a cancer scare. He's in really serious debt to his brother-in-law, who's a loan shark, who's sending goons after him. He's always on the precipice of making this big score. But as a viewer, that of course you want him to win, but it doesn't matter, because if he's a gambling addict, it's not like he's going to do something responsible. When he finally does get a big score, he's just going to lose it all on the next big bet. And so it's very tragic and dark in much the same way that this film was, but where it succeeds so well is it's propulsive, and Adam Sandler has such almost indescribable charisma. It's kind of hard to imagine how good his performance is if you've never seen it, that he takes you along on the character's journey, and you can feel what it's like to be a gambling addict, how incredible it must feel to win the few times that you do, after being down for so long as this character is for most of the film. And it's incredible. And in Born to Win, you never feel like an angel sucking your dick. It completely fails to convey any of the feeling of I've never done heroin, but I imagine it feels really good, right? It must be fucking incredible. People get really addicted to it. And the film never makes you feel that way. And so Yeah, it also has an unbelievable score by Daniel Lopatin, aka Oneohtrix Point Never, OPN, and it's truly one of my favorite films of all time, and I could not possibly recommend it any more full-throatedly. So there you go. Mike, is that also your recommendation, or is it the other thing that I think it might be?
Let me just say, that's a fantastic recommendation and one of my top 10 favorite films of all time, so absolutely seconded. But no, it's not my recommendation for this week. I dare not be so predictable. My recommendation this week is the 2017 Safdie brothers film, Good Time, starring Robert Pattinson.
That was the other one I thought you might give. It's the more obvious choice because it's about drug addiction, right? But, I think it's fun to do these as a pair.
Yeah, I mean, for what it's worth, I didn't choose it. I don't consider Good Time a film about drug addiction.
Yeah, I guess it's not. It's just more about drugs generally, I guess, in a way that Uncut Gems really isn't.
Well, the reason that so just a little setup. Good Time. It is the previous film directed by the Safdie brothers before they did Uncut Gems with Adam Sandler, and this stars Robert Pattinson as a small-time criminal in New York who's trying to bail his brother out of Rikers Island after a botched bank robbery. And like Mike said about Uncut Gems, one fun thing about this film is that it takes place over the course of one frantic night in Queens and really dives deep into the city's underbelly. It just is this raw, fast-paced crime thriller that's about loyalty, survival, self-destruction, and it also features an incredible score by Oneohtrix Point Never. So there's a lot of similar DNA tonally between Uncut Gems and Good Time. The reason that I went with Good Time instead of Uncut Gems is because I felt like it felt closer to the kind of film that I think Born to Win wanted to be or should have been maybe. It's this small scale crime movie. It's about, Robert Pattinson's character Connie is just this small time kind of loser criminal, and he doesn't care about anyone except for himself and his brother. And we see him just use other people over the course of the entire film to try to get what he wants. I think it's a little less funny than Uncut Gems. Uncut Gems is, I think, a much funnier film, and the subject, Howard, it does deal with addiction, but Howard, he's a rich guy. He has a lot of money. He owns a jewelry store in New York's Diamond District. So you're just seeing a different side of New York than you do in Good Time.
Yeah, it's true.
But I think if you're looking for a gritty New York crime thriller, definitely give Good Time a watch. I'm due for a rewatch. It's been a few years,
Me too.
You really can't go wrong with either of these films. You have anything else you want to say about Good Time?
No, I mean, I love it as well. And I think you should watch both of these films if you haven't seen them. I mean, we watched Uncut Gems relatively recently, right? Because it was a late IMAX showing in 2024.
Yeah,
we've seen it in the past year.
It was a one Showtime only kind of IMAX re-release. So we had to go like on a Wednesday at 8 p.m. It's always fun.
Well, you say had to go. It was a fucking blessing in my life to get to see Uncut Gems in IMAX, true. Honestly.
I mean, we had to go. We were obligated as part of the year of IMAX that we made for ourselves. But yes, I mean, I would have gone no matter what to see Uncut Gems in IMAX. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Uncut Gems on my phone if it was around. Just put it on my phone. I'm gonna watch it on my phone tonight.
I'm gonna second screen it on my 43-inch Vizio while I turn the subtitles on and look at my phone the entire time. But listen, I think that's great. We got a Safdie brothers double Jeopardy, and they're both much better uses of your time than watching 1971's Born to Run or God damn it, whatever the fuck this movie was called.
I think they're both probably 5-star films for both of us, right? I mean,
I think I most recently gave Good Time a 4.5, but I think it might.
Oh, it's a 5-star for me. Yeah,
I think it might be a 5-star the next time I watch it.
Yeah, they're both 5s from me. Robert Pattinson, I mean, we talked about this a lot during the Tenet episode, obviously, a few weeks ago. He is one of my favorite actors of all time, and this is an incredible Robert Pattinson performance in this film. It's fucking towering, honestly. It's really good.
Completely agree. And on that note, it's time to roll for next week's film. Mike, it's your turn to roll. And I have to say, before we even get into it, we only have a couple of rolls left this year. We have a couple more rolls, then we go into our 50th episode spectacular, and then we have a film that is related to Christmas, and then we have a New Year's Eve film. And in fact, I'm just going to spoil it right now. It's the film titled New Year's Eve. So, let's make the most of it.
Big surprise.
What are you hoping to roll this week, Mike?
I mean, I shouldn't even need to say it, right? I mean, I'm hoping for number 60, aka number 83, Silver Linings Playbook.
83
What am I
what?
rolling up to? 76. It's on
In
the
his filmography. Yeah, I mean, you should say
Yeah.
that. Don't just say numbers.
I'm going to roll now, okay?
Okay, looking forward to it.
We have rolled 48, which is What Just Happened, a Barry Levinson film.
Wow, okay.
It's been a minute since we've
He's
gotten a Barry
back,
Levinson
director of
film, right?
Sleepers.
He's back, yep.
Some other stuff, The Alto Knights.
What Just Happened is a 2008 American satirical comedy drama directed by Barry Levinson and, oh my gosh, starring Robert De Niro.
That's
he's
nice.
on the poster.
Oh, he's on the
I
poster.
love
That's
that.
really great.
Yeah. He is the poster. He's the only thing on it. The supporting cast includes Catherine Keener, Robin Wright, Stanley Tucci, Moon Bloodgood, John Turturro, Sean Penn, Michael Wincott, Kristen Stewart, and Bruce Willis. Really stacked
It's a
cast.
great cast.
Got bad news for you. 49 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Well, it is what it is. At least De Niro will be in this one.
Yeah, at least we're seeing another Barry Levinson, right? And it's only a tight 104 minutes long.
That's
So
really
that's kind of
nice.
fun. Well, there you go. We'll see you guys next week for What Just Happened.
All right, fantastic. I'm looking forward to that next week. And I think it's time to read us out of this pretty short episode of the podcast. I'd like to thank all of the citizens of De Niro Nation who showed up this week to hear our episode about Born to Win. I'd like to give a special shout out to Caroline for making our wonderful podcast artwork. Please email us at ourherodeniro@gmail.com with any questions or comments you might have. Follow us on Letterboxd. I'm Mike Back At You, and he's Mike the Fab. Please rate us 5 stars in Apple Podcasts or Spotify. And
5 stars only.
yeah, please. And was that it? I think that was the end. You kind of interrupted me there. We'll be back at you next week with an episode about what just happened.
I don't think you said to write us. And write us about absolutely anything at ourherodeniro@gmail.com.
I did say that.
Oh, did you? Okay, great. Well, you can just mute this. So there you go.
All right, see you next week.
See you next week.